At first, the news about Elon Musk didn't make much noise that had effectively merged the strategic direction, talent, and long-term vision of SpaceX and XAI. It didn't land like a normal corporate announcement. There was no flashy keynote, no dramatic reveal stage, no carefully polished marketing slogan. Instead, it felt like a tectonic shift beneath the surface of the tech world, something you don't fully notice until the ground has already moved. At first glance, it might look like another Musk power play, another case of one man spreading his influence across multiple industries. But this moment is different. This isn't about electric cars, social media drama, or even reusable rockets in isolation. This is about intelligence and propulsion coming together, about cognition and motion merging into a single system, about redefining what it means for humanity to expand beyond Earth. Elon Musk has always operated with a long time horizon that most institutions struggle to comprehend. Governments think in election cycles, corporations think in quarters, and even visionary founders usually plan in decades. Musk thinks in centuries. SpaceX was never just a rocket company. From its earliest days, it was a survival project for civilization, a hedge against planetary extinction. Mars wasn't a branding exercise, it was an insurance policy for consciousness itself. At the same time, Musk's warnings about artificial intelligence have been consistent for over a decade. He has repeatedly described AI as potentially more dangerous than nuclear weapons if misaligned with human values. The founding of XAI wasn't a sudden pivot, it was an attempt to regain control of a trajectory he felt was drifting toward opacity and centralization. What changes everything is not a legal merger in the traditional sense, but a philosophical and operational convergence. SpaceX generates unimaginable amounts of data every day. Telemetry from rockets, engines, heat shields, satellites, orbital mechanics, failure modes, success patterns, and real-time decision systems. Starlink alone, with its growing constellation of thousands of satellites, produces a living map of Earth's communication patterns. Atmospheric interference, latency behavior, and network optimization challenges. This is the kind of data that is not static, not historical, but alive. XAI, on the other hand, exists to build systems that can understand reality, reason about it, and eventually help humans navigate it. When these two worlds intersect, AI stops being an abstract chatbot or recommendation engine and becomes something far more consequential, a navigator of physical reality. Historically, artificial intelligence has mostly lived inside screens. It recommends videos, writes text, recognizes faces, predicts consumer behavior, and optimizes ad placement. Even its most impressive feats often remain confined to digital environments. SpaceX breaks that boundary. Rockets don't forgive hallucinations. Orbital mechanics doesn't care about probabilistic guesswork. A single error at hypersonic speed can mean catastrophic failure. Integrating advanced AI into this environment forces intelligence to become grounded, accountable, and physically honest. This is a fundamentally different training ground for AI systems. When XAI models are exposed to SpaceX-level constraints, they are not just learning language or patterns, they are learning reality. This convergence also reframes the Mars mission entirely. Sending humans to Mars is not just a transportation problem. It is a systems intelligence problem. Life support, habitat construction, radiation shielding, resource extraction, psychological health, emergency response, supply chain autonomy, and long-term sustainability all require decision-making in environments where human oversight will be delayed by minutes or even hours. AI is not optional in this scenario, it is essential. By aligning XAI with SpaceX, Musk is effectively saying that the future of space exploration is not human versus machine, but human with machine, tightly coupled, co-evolving. There is also a deeper philosophical layer that often gets overlooked. Musk has repeatedly said that consciousness may be rare in the universe, and that preserving and expanding it is a moral imperative. If that is true, then spreading intelligence beyond Earth isn't just about colonization, it's about diversification of awareness. In that sense, AI becomes a carrier of intelligence just as much as humans do. A future Mars settlement may rely on AI systems to maintain infrastructure long before it becomes self-sufficient. Those AI systems, trained through SpaceX environments and aligned through XAI's mission, would effectively become the first non-biological stewards of off-world civilization. Critics often frame Musk's ventures as chaotic or ego-driven, but there is an internal coherence to this move that becomes obvious when you zoom out. SpaceX provides the body, XAI provides the mind. One moves through space. The other interprets it. One manipulates matter and energy, the other models reality and intention. Combined, they form something closer to an organism than a company. This is not how corporations are traditionally structured, and that is precisely why it is so disruptive. Traditional firms compartmentalize. Musk integrates. The implications for national governments are profound. Space agencies like NASA, ESA, and Roscosmos operate within political and budgetary constraints that make long-term integration of AI and spaceflight slow and cautious. Meanwhile, a private entity driven by a singular vision can move orders of magnitude faster. If XAI-powered systems begin optimizing launch schedules, spacecraft design, orbital traffic management, and even interplanetary logistics, SpaceX could gain a strategic advantage that is not easily replicable. This raises uncomfortable questions about sovereignty, regulation, and control. Who governs intelligence operating beyond Earth? What laws apply to AI-assisted decision-making in space? These questions are no longer theoretical. On Earth, the Starlink network becomes a silent but critical piece of this puzzle. Starlink is often discussed as a satellite internet service, but in reality it is a planetary-scale sensor and communication grid. It observes weather patterns, signal interference, population connectivity, disaster zones, and geopolitical disruptions in real time. Feeding this data into XAI systems enables a form of global situational awareness that no single government currently possesses. This doesn't automatically imply malicious intent, but it does shift the balance of informational power. Intelligence, once centralized in state institutions, begins migrating toward integrated tech ecosystems. Another layer to this story is competition. While OpenAI, Google DeepMind, Anthropic, and others race to build increasingly capable models, most of them are still focused primarily on digital outputs. Even robotics, where it exists, often operates in constrained environments. SpaceX represents one of the harshest operational theaters imaginable. AI that can meaningfully assist in rocket landing, orbital docking, autonomous navigation, and deep space mission planning is not just smart, it is resilient. That resilience becomes a differentiator. An AI trained in space is fundamentally different from one trained purely on text and images. There is also an irony here. Musk once co-founded OpenAI to ensure AI would benefit humanity broadly, then later distanced himself as it became more commercial and closed. XAI can be seen as an attempt to return to first principles, but with a crucial difference: it is grounded in a real-world mission that extends beyond profit. SpaceX burns cash, takes massive risks, and reinvests relentlessly, not because it maximizes short-term returns, but because it serves a long-term existential goal. By attaching XAI to that same mission structure, Musk is effectively anchoring artificial intelligence to a purpose larger than market dominance. Of course, this convergence is not without danger. Concentrating intelligence, infrastructure, and vision within a single ecosystem increases systemic risk. If alignment fails, the consequences could scale rapidly. AI systems influencing spaceflight, global communications, and long-term human survival cannot afford opaque objectives or misaligned incentives. Musk's insistence on transparency and truth-seeking in AI is partly a response to this risk, but implementation matters more than rhetoric. The challenge will be ensuring that XAI remains accountable not just to Musk's vision, but to humanity's collective interests. Public perception will likely lag behind reality. Many people will focus on surface-level controversies, social media drama, or stock market speculation, missing the deeper shift underway. But decades from now, historians may look back on this moment as the point where artificial intelligence stopped being a purely terrestrial phenomenon. The moment when intelligence and spaceflight fused into a single trajectory. In practical terms, this could mean AI-designed spacecraft that evolve faster than human engineering cycles. It could mean autonomous factories on Mars guided by models trained on Earth and refined off-world. It could mean spacecraft that diagnose and repair themselves, missions that adapt dynamically to unknown conditions, and exploration that accelerates beyond what human crews alone could manage. Each of these possibilities compounds the others. Progress stops being linear and becomes exponential. There is also a cultural dimension. Humans have always told stories about explorers guided by stars, intuition, and courage. In the future Musk seems to be building toward, explorers will also be guided by algorithms, simulations, and predictive intelligence. This doesn't diminish human agency, it extends it. Just as telescopes extended our vision and engines extended our reach, AI extends our understanding. SpaceX gives that understanding somewhere to go. What makes this convergence truly transformative is that it closes a loop. AI improves space exploration. Space exploration generates new data and challenges. Those challenges improve AI. The improved AI enables deeper exploration. This feedback cycle, once established, becomes self-reinforcing. Few organizations in history have been positioned to create such a loop. Fewer still have attempted it intentionally. Elon Musk often talks about making life multiplanetary as a way to give humanity a future worth being excited about. The integration of XAI into SpaceX suggests an evolution of that idea. It's not just about spreading humans across planets, it's about spreading intelligence, resilience, and adaptability. It's about ensuring that wherever humanity goes, it brings not only its biology, but its capacity to understand and shape reality responsibly. Whether this vision succeeds or fails remains uncertain. Space is unforgiving. AI is unpredictable. History is littered with grand ambitions that collapsed under their own weight. But even attempting this merger of mind and machine, Earth and cosmos, signals a shift in how we think about progress. It suggests that the next phase of human development will not be defined by isolated breakthroughs, but by integrated systems that blur the boundaries between disciplines. In that sense, the merging of SpaceX and XAI doesn't just change one company or one industry. It changes the frame through which we imagine the future. It asks a quiet but profound question: what happens when intelligence is no longer confined to Earth, and exploration is no longer guided by